This is my grandmother and my grandfather Endsley. This is my grandmother Bertha Endsley and Frank Endsley. He was an Irishman. He's about 6'5", and my grandmother was 5'1", and she had 13 children.
Wow.
11 of which lived. And I lived with her, since I was a small baby until I was 7. And my aunt and uncle, Pat and Jake, adopted me at that age. But she was the most wonderful woman you could ever meet. Wonderful.
And what did he do?
I don't know what the hell he did. All he did was womanize and gamble his money away.
I thought he was ran a stagecoach or something.
Oh, yes. In the older days at that time, he drove stagecoach from Iowa or Ohio to the Oregon, to the Washington State, to Walla Walla. And they met, oh my gosh. I can remember when she told me, it's been, years later. But anyway, my grandmother had her own little place, and she grew chickens and flowers and vegetables, and she sold those, and that's how she made her living, because they were split up. And she got tired of his womanizing, but he was a handsome guy. So later on in life, every time my grandfather gets sick, my grandmother would always take him in. Always took him in. So he'd come over on Sunday. Most Sundays he could be out there for dinner anyway, but when he got sick, he stayed in the other bedroom. I slept with my grandmother. I tell you, she was the most wonderful woman I ever met in my life or ever will.
Mm. How long did you live with her?
Oh, probably 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, Pat and Jake, Pat was Grandma's daughter. And when they got married, I went to live with them for a while.
So this is the Endsley family.
This is the Endsley family, yeah.
Which is
yeah.
Pat's.
This is
Pat
Pat's
Moore's
mom.
parents, right?
Gladys's mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Gladys married my dad, Jack.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know what else you want me to say.
Well,
but anyway, she was a pioneer woman. She used to cook for harvest crews. And that's how she made her living too. And she cooked biscuit, and every Saturday she cooked fresh bread in this big green stove that she had. And it had a reservoir on one side. And then she cooked all these wonderful breads. I get them ready, I put my feet in the oven. Oh my God, I was in heaven. And these sweet bread she cooked. It was just wonderful. I just loved her to death. But then after we moved to Portland, I go back every summer and stay with my grandmother. Every summer.
So that's the part. They lived in Canada in the beginning.
Oh, yes.
Right.
They lived in Calgary, Canada. Pat will tell you about the one time they found a snake in the cupboard in their house, and they scared them to death, and the reason why Pat was so afraid of snakes is because the one snake, one time they're going to school and the snake got her wrapped around her feet and beat her. Oh, yeah, just beat her. She was so afraid of snakes. Well, I would be too. But they used to go to school. They put hot coals in the carriage and everything and go to school. My God, I've forgotten all about this stuff. Oh, my God. It was something else. There were pioneer people.
So you mentioned they lived in Canada, so when she had her kids...
she would go down to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and so they'd all be born in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how all the kids became
so they were all U.S. citizens.
Wow.
Yeah. She had 13 children, and 2 of them died, but 11 lived. And I tell you, what a hell of a woman she is.
And all the kids were from him?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
He was a handsome dude. But I remember going to my grandma's house. He came over for dinner on Sundays, and we have corn on the cob. Well, he hardly had any teeth left. And I'd sit on the other end of the table, and he'd be on this end of the table, and he'd eat that corn, and the juice be flying everywhere. Oh my God, it was so funny.
And he had blue eyes and she had brown eyes.
Yeah. Oh, he had those translucent blue eyes like my mom. My mom had his eyes, his blue eyes. Aunt Thelma had his blue eyes. And, who else? Oh, my Uncle Lauren, who was the oldest, he was in the First World War.
Right.
My Uncle Art.
Uncle Art. I remember Uncle Art. I met him.
He was 5'1", 5'3" at the most. He took after Grandma.
Uh-huh.
And all the rest of them took after Grandpa. They're all taller.
I think he ran like the horses in the cavalry or something.
Huh?
I think he ran the horses in the cavalry in World War One.
Oh, I don't know.
Uncle Art?
I'm
That's
not
what I
sure
remember.
what he did.
Yeah.
But he and my mother, my mom was 5'1", and my Uncle Art was. They're the two shortest of the family, and all the rest of them were tall giants compared to them. Oh my God, it was so funny.
Awesome.
I just loved him, but he was a rascal.
Scoundrel.
He really was a rascal. And he had this car with the rumble seat in the back. And then later on, he went over and lived with my Aunt Edna, which is one of her daughters, on their farm in back house. And anyway.
So Edna ended up living in the Dalles, right?
Edna?
Yeah.
No, she was in Walla Walla.
Oh, I'm thinking of Beulah. Okay.
Beulah was in
Right. Never mind.
someplace else.
Yeah.
Beulah died younger.
Okay.
No, my Aunt Edna and Virgil, my Uncle Virgil, there's a Mr. and Mrs. Remember Vernon?
Who?
My cousin Vernon?
I don't think so.
Well, he visited us in Southgate when you were little.
Oh.
But anyway, he was in the Coast Guard. He was such a nice kid. Such a gosh darn nice kid. And when we went to the family reunion, oh my God, that's been years ago, I met his wife, and he had this little kid, and he was like an attachment to his hip. He just kept him right there all the time. He just adored him. But anyway, this is my grandmother,
Yeah.
Bertha Adams, and my grandfather, Frank Endsley.
Cool.
And it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to have this picture, I tell you. I'm so glad to have this picture. I've got to have this reframed. I don't know if I get it out of there or not without tearing it.
Yeah.
But
So note to Jay, this was hanging in my grandma Moore's, Pat Moore's bedroom when I was a little kid. I remember seeing this painting or this picture in their bedroom, and Mom ended up with it eventually. Yeah. Good job, Mom. Thanks.